guys, Darkness&Dragons comes here, also known as Mentally Challenged Gamer, and I'm back with Danganronpa Havoc. Let's start with the trial. We believe right now that the killed was
with a
her.
basic if you can, then I'll punish every. Okay, well.
Well then, let's discuss the specifics of the victim. First, we need to clarify who It's Kyoko. There's no.
But Kyoko's standing right there.
No, that's a ghost.
But she has legs and stuff.
Well, that's just because she's like the latest of. There's a limit to how much ridiculousness I can tolerate.
Okay. So I just have to... Then let's compare Kyoko's traits to the traits of the dead body.
Her traits?
It proves the body doesn't belong to her.
I got it!
The gloves.
I'm talking about her gloves. They'll give us some insight into the mystery. I'm sure of it.
In that case, I think it would be helpful if someone explained why she actually wears those gloves.
And would you happen to know the answer?
In fact, Monokuma told me. Apparently you have scars on your hands you don't want anyone to see.
Oh, you know, now that I think about it, the corpse wasn't wearing any gloves, right?
They probably just got burnt up. I'm not convinced. The ghost is...
Well, of course, was Kyoko, but if I can't prove why, she's gonna be stuck here in case we move forward. I have no choice but to... Speak your mind, my man. I'm here with you. Make your argument.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion?
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
Fuck.
Shoot!
I thought the analysis would work.
Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Fake nails.
Okay, then prove
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
they got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
No, that's wrong.
The fake nails. I messed up once, but I will not do it again. I probably will.
No. There's no way the corpse was wearing gloves. Whoever it was, they were wearing fake nails, remember? I imagine trying to wear gloves over nails like that. Besides, Kyoko wears gloves to hide her. It'd be pretty weird for someone who's self-conscious about their hands to wear fake nails. Don't you think?
Jeez, man, you don't know women, huh?
If anyone doesn't know women, it's you.
Well, Kyoko,
These gloves were custom made to the size of my hands to make sure they don't interfere with my daily life. If I wore fake nails,
Then that's that. The dead...
which should have been obvious since she... Okay, so then, who's the... That's the first thing I said. You're the one who's been...
I didn't even identify the victim. Everything starts from there. Make the argument.
If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out. I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma. Oh, if we can't identify the body...
Then there's nothing else we can do, right?
Okay, I know what to do.
If Kyoko really is still... Then who died?
There's gotta be some... I don't think so.
The face was scorched beyond recognition.
Damn it.
If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
There's gotta be some way to... I don't think so.
The face was scorched beyond recognition.
Damn it. I'm messing up. I need to calm down.
If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
There's gotta be... I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond... And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file. Oh, if we can't identify the body...
Then there's nothing else we can do, right?
Okay, I know what to do.
If Kyoko really... Then who died?
There's gotta be some... I don't think so. And there wasn't any Oh, if we can't identify the body...
No, that's wrong.
Wrong!
one clue left behind that we can use to identify the body.
What? For real?
If you're lying, you'll die a cruel and unusual death.
Cruel and unusual.
She's just being stupid. Ignore them,
The key to figuring out is the tattoo on the back of her hand.
Well, yeah.
Her master must have made her get it. To be like, you're my bitch.
Stop it, Toko.
No, that's not it.
Oh, really?
Information then it should be clear.
I got it! The Fenrir
File.
Mercenary Corps. That's the name of the military group Mukuro Ikusaba belonged to.
Okay. To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body.
Fenrir?
Who represents Fenrir is... Wolf.
Now I understand.
That was a pretty easy Hangman's Gambit.
The representation of Fenrir is a wolf.
Fenrir, the wolf of Ragnarok. It's from Norse mythology. A huge, world-ending wolf race.
He's the child of the trickster god Loki. And a female giant.
Man, after all this time, we finally got a glimpse of the literary
A wolf tattoo.
Exactly. The body we found had a tattoo of a wolf, which means that person must have once belonged. So it must have been Mukuro.
What?
Hold on. Isn't she...
You sound surprised, but you're absolutely right. Yes, indeed. The trial this time is to solve the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
Are you saying
We're saying the mastermind is dead and...
mastermind is dead?
Yeah, she's still
Now
talking.
we have to have a cool-ass trial?
No. It means we were wrong in thinking that Mukuro was the mastermind at all.
But I mean, being the ultimate despair seems like a pretty mastermindy title to me.
Maybe we shouldn't have been thinking of her as the ultimate... After all, looking at her profile, I didn't see anything that would fit such a description. All it said was that she was the ultimate soldier. If I remember correctly, that other information came from Kyoko. That's what you told Makoto, right?
So that means Kyoko got it wrong?
And who was she? Who was Muko? She's been gone this whole time? And when she finally turns up, she gets killed.
Usually when there's a scene where an important character dies, it has a lot...
So you're saying she wasn't an important character? Which would mean she was the same as us. Just another participant.
Then who's the real mastermind?
It must have been the Hope's Peak Academy headmaster after all.
No, the headmaster has nothing to do with it.
But how can we trust that? We already know your
My information was not wrong.
Okay. We're in the middle of a trial right now. Figuring out who killed Mukuro is first and foremost. Please limit all future prattle, chatter, and chit-chat as much as...
Fine. Uncovering the identity, no matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
I have officially decided to completely ignore all such attempts at provocation. Now then, just so nobody... The reason we're having a class hammer that point straight...
What you're saying is that both the victim and the culprit are part of the student body?
Then, one of us killed Muko?
Wait, no! There's a chance that there's some mystery.
Nope. There are only 16 students in total that have been taking part in these events.
Seriously? Then
Who did it?
Get a hold of yourself. We've already narrowed down the list.
Huh?
I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto?
Only two suspects, Makoto and Kyoko.
I got it! You've narrowed it down to Kyoko and me, right?
Why do you say that?
Allow me to explain. Just after nighttime last night, I went to the garden. At that point, there was no dead body there. So, the murder must have taken place after I left the garden. However, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
The gym?
That's right. The four of us were there trying to dismantle Monokuma. The whole time we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs. All of which is to say, the four of us all have alibis. The only ones without alibis
Are me and Makoto. That
exactly so.
Suspects now is me and Kyoko. Don't need to see it. I have to clear my name.
I have something I'd like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
Are you thinking of raising an objection?
Well, before that, I just want to try. Doing that might reveal some kind of clue.
Whatever you want. Somebody go ahead and...
Me and Byakuya can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden at... Well, it was after nighttime for sure. I'd say it must have been around 10 o'clock. So the murder must have happened after...
Then I guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the body? Oh, but
Wrong.
what time did...
The one who saw the body first was Toko, right?
I'm gonna split. I'm not
I
close.
got it! The body must have been discovered at 9 a.m., since that's when Toko went to get the pickaxe.
Alright.
He's right. It had to be a...
So we can be totally sure the murder happened
For me, I was already asleep before nighttime hit, so I don't have an alibi after 10 o'clock. But I'm sure I met up with everyone else before 9 this morning.
We ran into each other in the dining hall, right? Oh yeah! Right around 7:30. I remember checking right before I went in.
which means from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., you don't have an alibi.
Right between 10 a.m. and 9 a.m. I'm alibi from 10 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Looks like the game has begun. I'll prove an alibi for that period. I just said the murder didn't happen during the time I don't have an alibi. Did I need to make clear when the body ended up in the garden? The sprinklers.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
Fuck! I got trigger happy.
We've established...
Okay, let me check the sprinklers. At 7:30. What chance? This is body hits in the garden at 7:30. We've gotten wet. So we works out the morning announcement. So we're at the dining hall. So at the gym. Alright. Upper half of the body remained fire. Extinguished before this upper half was soaking wet. One half was
Pushed the
dry.
time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections,
Now would be the time.
Alright. Let me try this.
we've established a time frame. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night.
Damn it.
Shoot!
I'm trying to figure out how to explain this correctly.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time.
Time to commit. So Makoto,
Damn it.
if you have
I messed
any
up.
objections, now would be
I'm
the
gonna try to do this
We've established a time. It took place somewhere between and 9 o'clock. Yep. And Makoto.
Yeah, from to 7:30.
damn it. I don't know what I'm missing.
Shoot!
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night.
No!
There we go, got it.
Actually, the murder couldn't have happened anywhere near 10 o'clock. It had to have taken place way later.
And what makes you say that?
Because of the sprinklers in the garden. The sprinklers are set to go off right at 7:30 every morning, right? So if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, then it should have been completely soaked.
Oh, hold on. I remember this part perfectly. The body was wet.
Sorry, Toko, but you're wrong.
I'm wrong? Are you saying only the mouth down south was wet? How?
No, I'm saying that the body...
What do you mean by denying the sprinkle?
Man,
If you really think it's you...
The sprinklers got the body wet. All I have to do is hit Toko with evidence and that should do it. Body itself should make it clear. Oh my god, I hate this.
I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! How can you say it wasn't the
This should prove it.
Boom. I completed that with all half a heart. Yes! Nice!
Just remember what the body was like after the explosion. The top half of the body was wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry. If the sprinklers got the body wet, shouldn't the whole body have been wet?
So they only got the top wet? The bottom was completely dry?
I'm so sick of her.
The reason only the top half... While the body was still on fire, So if the sprinklers didn't get the body wet, sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
But Makoto's
Yes.
alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this morning, right?
So there's no way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
In which case, the only one left.
Goes on without an alibi, which for me, like, first killer is. No, I refuse to believe it.
I'd just
Remember
like to
someone
say
that's-
one thing. If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why,
So are you
Huh?
saying?
of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
A trap?
We're this far into the game and now... Stop wasting time! Stop wasting...
Shut up, you!
You got it, boss!
Anyway, Kyoko, you actually did have a... Huh? She thought Mukuro was the ultimate despair. And so she killed her to try and put a stop. But you made one catastrophic mistake. And as a result, we were forced into another trial. Something I'm sure you weren't at all expecting.
So that...
She had a motive and no alibi. Well then,
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient. The sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
What are you...
Because you see, there is a way the body could have avoided getting wet.
Interesting.
All it would take is covering the body with a certain...
Seen the uncovered body, what would it have been? Oh,
I got it! You're talking about the tarp, aren't you?
You catch on quick. You're right. All you'd have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water. In fact, that's exactly the dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that. Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water. The side that faced down over the body, meanwhile, kept perfectly clean. This proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
But why would they go to all that effort?
Most likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder act. In other words, to create an
Whoa. Why would Kyoko say that? Well, she wanted to make me look at the killer. But I can't think about that right now. That tarp. Just the way Kyoko said, the tarp must have touched the body, right? The body.
Wait. Something's not right.
And what might that be?
I can't worry about Kyoko's motivations. It's something he's gonna think I'm the killer. Or if Kyoko said.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the...
Oh, wait, let me take a look at the exploded body analysis.
sprinkler got that side wet.
Fragments near
But
dead
the
body.
other side of the...
Body before explosion. Covering the body, white check, covering the body. Enough this and the other end there were bloodstains around the wound.
Tarp? It was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water.
Fuck, I'm dead.
Shoot!
I gotta retry it. God damn it, I'm not good at this. I'm terrible at Clash Trials.
I refuse
Yes.
to give up yet.
Alright. Let's try this again.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
Damn it. I have to try that again. I don't know what I'm doing.
By covering the body with the tarp,
The killer prevents.
So the reason that is because the spring, but the underside, it was totally.
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
No, that's wrong.
Boom! I just had to wait. I had to be patient.
Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it. Because the blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right? Byakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, if you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
Well, maybe the culprit washed it.
If they had, they would have washed both sides.
Oh!
more than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage?
Huh?
What if,
What was
after
camouflage?
the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim?
You mean some...
I know! They could have grabbed some of the blood. That's what Hifumi did, right? When he...
No, that's not. The killer got the blood from right there in the garden.
Oh my god, right? That must mean the chicken.
I got it! Could it have been chicken blood?
What?
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder, but after the murder, there were only 4.
So, you're saying... Man!
Killing a living thing just to do something like that?
I wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around. Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went
Perhaps, but even so, there's one. You said the culprit used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered. But if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body. But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was complete.
I have to agree. Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
They covered it.
When you discovered the body, was
I think so. Wait, no. The head was through the neck hole, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
then that settles it.
Sorry, I'm having a
Here's what happened. The murder but the body didn't get wet. Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up, they pulled the coat over the body. The coat they've already covered in blood. This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time. They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime.
If that's actually what took place, it's certain.
But wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned off?
That actually wouldn't have been all that. They already had the coat ready. So they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time.
Maybe.
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining hall,
Oh no. I headed off to the gym.
then he had plenty of time to
That's not...
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound.
This just falls on me again, but why? You're trying to entrap me. I don't understand.
Well,
That's
then,
the true
it
section.
looks like Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our...
For serious, man? Hey, why don't we let luck decide?
Oh!
See? Pretty good.
No, not that.
Well, don't just stand...
You know that knife we found off...
One we found stuck in the... According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front... So?
I'm pretty sure that's what I thought when I first...
We gave it to Makoto. Fuck! I'm fucking... No!
You don't seem surprised. Then why did you hide...
It's not that I hid it.
Maybe sure what actually happened last night. I thought maybe I really did kill her.
Suspicious. The knife we found stuck... Now I'm totally convinced he did it!
So every note to now, I should be able to make it clear, but I have to prove I didn't murder anyone. I'm not the killer.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then... That seals it! Makoto did it!
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
Okay, I think I know.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it?
If he did have that knife, that seals it! Just because I had the knife, that automatically...
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right?
Fuck.
Shoot!
Okay, let me try again.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife, that automatically make...
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right?
So there's no... You took that knife...
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
We've already established the coat was put onto the body after the tarp was removed. That's what we cut in the body.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we...
It really is, isn't it?
If he did have that seals it. Just because I had the knife, that automatic... Well...
Getting stabbed is what killed her.
No!
Boom!
Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
Lies! We never...
No! Don't you remember? The killer covered the dead body with the tarp, and then put the bloody coat on it, right? In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Okay, fine.
So, when we discovered the body, The knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body. Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point, obviously the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Maybe you stabbed her twice.
7 was fucked. There's no way that's possible. It's actually not for everyone to see.
Shoot!
Crap. Okay. Oh, it's possible. He's shooting by running down for everyone to see. I think I get 16 participants. I want to see. Maybe? But now what if she was stabbed in the same spot twice? Crap. Okay, I need to think.
I got it!
There we go, got it!
The file clearly states that there was only one stab wound.
Oh yeah, it sure did.
Then the knife...
Was just another piece of camouflage. They probably stabbed her to draw attention. Exploding the body afterward was probably meant to do the same thing.
I still don't get how Toko didn't die if it's in her flying.
The explosion severely damaged the body. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy.
Oh, hey, I have a question. What's the deal with that explosion anyway?
If you bother to put that lump of gray matter between your...
Well, if you're so smart,
I'll tell you. I bet some.
I might be dumb.
Go ahead, Makoto.
Okay, let me see if there's the bomb in here. No, there's no bomb, so...
I got it! After the explosion, we found a tiny... That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
Huh? You know,
That's only natural. We saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma. It's part of a bomb.
oh, then the explosion...
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more... They wanted the knife wound to look like the fatal injury, and the only one who would benefit from is the only other possible...
Hold on a second, Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like...
That's true. It's definitely bugged.
Fine, I have no problem. It won't change the facts of the...
Remember when Ultimate killed the victim. I need to concentrate.
Then shall we...
Okay, what does the Monokuma file say? Unknown, therefore, was dead before the blast. The victim has been stabbed a single time knife, but his blade through the body. He has been struck with the head with an object as a thick metal pipe. But the body was covered with wounds. There was also at least several days old.
Continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. Yes.
Well, yeah. She was already...
And it wasn't you because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh yeah. According to the mother, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
All the wounds were fresh. Just two of these.
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't you because of the knife, right? And then there's only one...
Oh yeah. That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back.
Damn it, I was trying to hold it down.
Shoot!
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined.
The explosion didn't kill her for sure.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't even.
Oh, yeah.
That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body. Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined.
No!
Wrong.
Mukuro died because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body?
The Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
Oh yeah, good point. If they were old, I guess...
Okay, then we're safe in assuming the blow...
Well, the Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object, about as thick as a metal pipe.
Oh! I bet it was the pickaxe!
How is that even possible? If you hit someone...
Well, maybe they held it the other way and hit her with the hand.
No way! The balance would be all off. I wouldn't mind testing it on you.
No thanks. I bet you just hit me with the metal end.
I'd love to scoop out that nasty brain.
I feel the same.
Seriously?
We want to figure out what killed her, right?
We already know?
So what was it?
Go ahead and tell them, Makoto.
No murder weapon. White duct tape, maybe? Nope.
Shoot!
Okay. It's either that or the arrows.
I got it! Mukuro was hit in the back of the head with... And that something was... the
Arrow.
Indeed. There.
Are you sure?
Hey! How dare you back?
I'm not back talking anything.
Hey, but there's one more thing about that weapon. One more secret. If I mess up once, I'm gonna have to restart anyway.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, because in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Talking back to Master! You have no right!
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo. I have no doubt.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced.
Well, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Boom. They wrapped it with duct tape.
You're right. Just the one arrow would have been too weak.
Another weapon?
Inside the dojo locker, we also found a balled-up wad of duct tape. The killer probably uses duct tape to bind multiple arrows together. Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe. And that's exactly what the killer...
It's similar to Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks. One stick is weak. We'll put them together, and they become strong.
That's harsh.
How is it harsh?
Anyway, that explains the murder weapon. As for who the culprit is that stashed, it was you, Kyoko.
I've never been to the dojo.
Oh no.
How can you say that with such...
Because we have proof of...
Oh,
Surely you don't intend to you know what will happen if you cover for the culprit, there's the death of us all.
of course...
Then show us. Show
I have evidence of the cookie was into the dojo locker.
I got it! The one thing that proves key right here.
And how does that prove?
Because I found it in your room.
It was in my room?
Don't bother trying to play that key is just the final piece of the puzzle.
Wait, how did she get in after the murder? You're the one who had the key!
Non-existent alibi. This all proves that you...
Hold on a second.
Not this again.
No, there's one more thing I need. Kyoko. Last night. Why? That's what I need to...
I was just protecting you.
What?
She was protecting me? Does that mean she... being attacked? She came to my rescue. Does that be one? Which means that she killed someone for me.
The time for...
Wait, I'm warning you. Don't make this...
I knew you were stubborn.
Really? But you should know. Can you tell me I'm wrong?
I should know.
Wait, Kyoko shouldn't know it better than anyone? What does this mean? It's the key! The key to the key, and we also need to... pause! I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Don't Rope Trivia Heaven. Next time we find out the killer, I'm Ben Byakuya.